In July 1975, 37-year-old General Murtala Mohammed took over as head of state, while President Gowon was away in Kampala, Uganda, attending the Organization of African Unity Heads of State Summit. Addressing the nation, the new leader said, the leadership, either by design or default, had become too insensitive to the true feelings and yearnings of the people. General Mohammed went on to say that the new government would give Nigeria a new lease of life. In 1975, Nigeria had been independent for 15 years. But while Nigeria, the country, was politically independent, Nigeria, the people, had almost been torn asunder in 3 years of a bloody war. Poverty was still rampant, as was illiteracy. Murtala was a simple guy. He didn't even have an entourage. He also stayed in his personal house instead of the official presidential palace. In addition, he used his personal car to attend to personal business. A few months later, in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Murtala gave one of his most powerful speeches ever. He said, "Africa has come of age. It is no longer under the orbit of any extracontinental power. It should no longer take orders from any country, however powerful. The fortunes of Africa are in our hands. For too long have we been kicked around. For too long have we been treated like adolescents who cannot discern their interests and act accordingly. For too long has it been presumed that Africa needs outside experts to tell him who are his friends and who are his enemies. The time has come when we should make it clear that we should decide for ourselves, that we know our own interests and how to protect those interests, that we are capable of protecting Africa's problems without presumptuous lessons in ideological dangers, which more often than not have no relevance to us, nor for the problem at hand." The Nigerian president was saying that Africa was now an adult, that Africa must now learn to make the right choices on her own, that Africa must make up her own mind, take her own stand, and chart her own path, that Africa must carry her own beautiful burden of success. Even today, almost 50 years later, these words still ring true for Africa. February 13, 1976. This has to be one of the darkest days in Nigeria's history, for on this day, Murtala Mohammed was assassinated in his car. At the tender age of 37, his visionary leadership was cut short by an assassin's bullet. Like a full moon, he had lit up the Nigerian sky with humility and strength. Like a shooting star, he had disappeared just when Nigeria, Africa, and the world was beginning to take notice. Like a constellation of stars, he had left behind a leadership pattern that others could follow.